Hey, HannahMouse1 here. So I have a confession to make. I sat down to write a video called Who Should Have Killed Bellatrix Lestrange, in which I would have argued for 3 different characters who I thought would have made better candidates for Bellatrix's killer than Molly Weasley. Bellatrix is one of the main villains in Harry Potter, and it felt slightly disappointing that she was killed by someone that she had very little history with. But in writing that video, paying more attention to the themes of each character and the story as a whole, I realised why this pairing was absolutely fantastic and have a newfound appreciation for this fight. I thought about the 2 main reasons that I disliked this ending for Bellatrix's character. The first is, like I said before, that Molly has very little to do with Bellatrix or the atrocities that she committed. Molly has almost no connection to the Longbottoms or Dobby. She wasn't particularly close to Sirius, and we never see her find out about Bellatrix torturing Hermione. It felt like the pairing was just supposed to be as unexpected as possible, and while the shock factor does work, it is a bit disheartening, given all the bad blood that Bella has built up across the series. And the second reason is, I just found it unbelievable that Molly could win this fight. I mean, in book 5, she failed to defeat a Boggart, something Harry mastered at age 13. You're telling me that she's a better duelist than Bellatrix Lestrange? I mean, it's the sort of thing that I could mostly forgive because it's a really cool moment, but it did leave an odd aftertaste in my mouth. But I'm going to dissect both of these points and why now I think that I was completely wrong to dismiss the fight in the way that I did. So the lacking relationship between these characters. Yes, narratively, Molly has almost nothing to do with Bellatrix, but thematically, I didn't realise how well these characters were in opposition to each other. Let me ask you, what is the message of the Harry Potter series? Love conquers all, right? Romantic love, love between friends, familial love, but more specifically, what sort of love receives the limelight? It's parental love, especially that of a mother. It's woven into the most important of characters. Voldemort became who he was because his mother couldn't love him and abandoned him at an orphanage, while Harry's mother gave her life to protect him. And at the other end of the story, a large part of Voldemort's downfall is that Narcissa Malfoy betrayed him to find and protect her son Draco. The story ends with Harry as a parent, with a family to call his own for the first time since Lily gave her life for him all those years ago. So where does Molly factor into all of this? Well, Molly is the quintessential mother of the series. She is a good mother, caring, attentive, kind, especially when you consider she has 7 children. And we also see the series from Harry's perspective. To him, Molly is the only real maternal figure he's ever known. And we know from the aforementioned Boggart scene that Molly does indeed view Harry as a son. Almost every decision, action, word from her mouth can be related back to the feelings for her children, biological or surrogate. Bellatrix has a lot less character development than Molly, outside of she's evil and she likes it. We know that she has no children, so we don't get to see how she would be as a mother, but we do get a decent idea from the beginning of Half-Blood Prince. Here we see Bellatrix contrasted against another mother, her sister Narcissa Malfoy. In this chapter, Narcissa is petrified that Draco is going to die whilst doing a task for the Dark Lord. Bellatrix shows no sympathy for her sister or her nephew, saying that if I had sons, I would be glad to give them up to the service of the Dark Lord. She cannot even comprehend the power of a mother's love for her child, and this would ultimately be her downfall. So despite not having an in-universe rivalry, these 2 characters are very subtle foils of each other, and their pairing for one of the series' final fights is actually far more appropriate than I initially thought. But what about my second point, that Molly probably couldn't defeat Bellatrix without a heaping pile of plot armour? Well, it's actually not an issue, and feeds perfectly into this narrative that's been set up. The duel ensues when Bellatrix's curse barely misses Ginny, sending Molly into a maternal fury. Molly and Bellatrix exchange spells, with Molly ultimately blasting Bellatrix into smithereens. So how is Molly able to hold her own in this fight? It's the passion to protect her children. It's like when a parent can lift a car if their child is trapped underneath it, and Bellatrix only fuels the fire by taunting Molly throughout the fight. What will happen to your children when I've killed you? When Mummy's gone the same way as Freddy. But at the end of the day, Molly doesn't outmatch Bellatrix's skill. Bellatrix underestimates the power behind Molly's love for her children. In pure skill, Molly couldn't have beaten Bellatrix, which is why Bella becomes so complacent in this fight. But the power of love prevails, as it always must in this series, and Bellatrix is defeated. And as for my earlier point that Molly couldn't even defeat a Boggart, well, what did the Boggart confront her with but the death of her children? Reality so unimaginable that she couldn't do anything to fight it. A reality that has since come to pass, and a reality that she would fight tooth and nail to stop from happening again. And one final point, what happens once Molly kills Bellatrix? Voldemort, in a fit of rage, turns his wand on Mrs. Weasley, but before he can say the curse to kill her, Harry intervenes. The story starts with a mother saving her son from Lord Voldemort, and ends when the son saves the only mother he ever knew, again from Lord Voldemort. And what could be better than that?
Not my daughter, you bitch!
Oh yeah, that line's pretty great too. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did, it lets me know that this is something that you want to see more of. This one was a bit of a mental roller coaster for me. Let me know who you think should have killed Bellatrix in the comments. For reference, the other 3 characters who I was going to argue for were Tonks, Neville and Draco. But apart from that, I will see you next week with another video. Bye!